Hello guys, welcome back. Today I'm going to be answering the question here, the story of why Jack Campbell busted. Now, if you don't know who he is, he was his 11th overall pick in 2017, or not 2017, 2010 draft of the NHL. And if you don't know, he completely busted. And here's why. So, first thing is first, he was drafted that high. One of the big reasons is because he won a gold medal in the World Juniors that year. In the USHL or USHL in 2009, 2010, he had 11 games, 2.21 goals against average, and a 917 save percentage. So pretty good numbers there. And I mean, he was very highly touted in the draft he was going in. He kind of, like, a lot of scouts expect him to be higher than 11th. Kind of like an 8th, 9th, whatever. Hopefully, I wish another team would have taken him there. We could have gotten somebody better. But it's set in stone now. Who knows what the Stars would look like, especially if they took somebody different like Campbell there in the 11th spot. But his 2010 draft profile, people saying he was technically sound. He seemed like he was in position a lot of times, like he wouldn't get out of position a lot. He moved puck well, and he was clutch, of course, winning the gold medal. And really, it's one of the biggest lessons of why teams don't draft goalies higher than they should be anymore. If you're going to draft a goal, or you're going to be a goalie, you're going to probably be lower than you should be, just because teams are just scared to draft goalies high, unless they're like for sure one of the best prospects in the draft. Now, he's a big reason why. He never really played all that well in the AHL or the ECHL until he moved to the Kings, and he was playing well there. But in the ECHL or in the AHL, he would always just play so badly that he would need to be put up in the backup role, maybe even scratched. And then ESH or the ECHL, he was just not good really at all. Like the Steelheads, he wasn't really that great. He just was just not good enough for the NHL roster, and he never really made it. His numbers were just terrible with both teams for the Stars. And he was traded for Nick Ebert, I think a couple of years ago, to the Kings, and he's been doing pretty decent in the AHL. But he's not going to be an NHL goaltender probably ever. If you have a terrible team with a terrible backup situation, maybe. But that's about it. It's just like he was never able to play well when he was young, and that's why he never really got a chance. And honestly, I don't blame the Stars for doing that. Like, if he isn't ready, don't put him in there. But he was just never ready. He was just never ready. And it's definitely a shame. Like, what could have been. I don't blame the Stars for drafting him that high. Just because all the things looked good for him. Just couldn't get saves over. Just couldn't get those saves going. Now, just for salt in the wound for me, let me just name some other players drafted in the first couple of rounds that they could have taken besides Jack Campbell. 12, the pick right after Jack Campbell. Campbell, the best defenseman for the Ducks. Number 16, this stings so much. Vladimir Tarasenko, 16 for the Blues. Like that, probably going to be one of the best Blues players when he retires. Man, it's just, I didn't know that he was drafted there, but man, that is something. That is something. Evgeny Kuznetsov, 26. That sucks, man. Definite second line forward for the Capitals. Should be a first liner on most teams. Shelley Coyle, 28. Fantastic forward for the Minnesota Wild. Great defensively. Justin Falk, 37. Always a great defenseman going in the second round, it seems like. Justin Falk, fantastic defenseman for Carolina. Tyler Toffoli, 47 overall for the Kings. Probably a first-line forward on a lot of teams. Probably a second-line forward for a lot of other teams. So there's a pretty lengthy list of great players that they could have drafted ahead of him. But of course, we have the hindsight. Now, what would happen if he did turn out and be amazing? Now, if he did turn out, I don't know if we would have gotten money to Niemi or Lettinen, but that's just the situation that we were in and all that. Like if he developed really quickly and stuff like that, it would have been fine. But of course, that didn't happen. Of course, it probably wouldn't have led to Bishop being signed and everything. Just the carousel of goalies, and it's just it just toughened up the league a bit and taught them a good lesson about drafting goalies this high. I mean, it's always a wild card it's always just a lottery whether they're going to be good or not if you draft them high, or unless they're just like a for sure, like Carey Price for sure going to be a fantastic goalie. Unless it's a for sure thing with a goalie, which it never really is. They're just going to wait until like the later rounds, and that's kind of how Jake Ottinger kind of is getting fleeced here and getting drafted 26 overall, and it's just being like the teams are afraid now, and I can't blame that at all. Of course, another thing is that like great goalie coaches never hurt. Like if we had a goalie coach dedicated to the AHL, who knows if that would have helped his development or whatnot. It's just like we only had one goalie coach, and he wasn't able to go to Jack Campbell enough, which definitely should be something to consider, and that's definitely something that they really do need. But man, it's a cool story, not from Jack Campbell for sure, but it's kind of just interesting to see how kind of under the radar his bust was. And just like, yeah, he was drafted, but like a couple years after he was drafted, nobody really heard of it again, and that's just something that's just mind blowing. So it definitely taught a like a lesson there. So that's going to be it for today, guys. If you guys did enjoy, make sure you like, because this really did enjoy it. Make sure to subscribe. I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.